Bomb Squad! Bum Squad. 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 What up, everybody who talks boxing, comments about boxing, and makes boxing videos? Just want to give a couple quick shout outs really quick. Big shout out to Boxing United. If you're on Google Plus and you're looking for a good boxing community, please go ahead and join and we could talk boxing. But also want to go ahead and give a big shout out to JR the Boxing Junkie. Shout out to Shady Slim. Shout out to Jay Cotto, Zone 6 Boxing, The Red Fox, Strictly Boxing News, Zabata Boxing, Aiden Morrison, Quran Bread, Hawker Mustang, and the list goes on and on and on. If I fuck with you, shout out and peace to you. So I want to revisit a topic that I haven't talked about in quite some time, and that is Deontay Wilder. Oh, what to say about Deontay Wilder? See, I've avoided talking about Deontay Wilder for quite some time, and that's just because I mentioned this once before. I don't know a whole lot about drugs. Because, well, drugs are bad, okay? But yeah, I've never really dabbled in drugs. I know drugs can be prescribed to you. I know that there are legal drugs. I know that there are illegal drugs. I know that there are certain things that have been labeled as drugs that are not actually drugs. And I know that there are banned substances. And those banned substances are banned, via VADA, USADA, in boxing and in MMA. That's basically the extent of my knowledge. I don't know what drugs enhance performance. I don't know what drugs, how long certain drugs stay in your system. I don't know how those drugs could be introduced into your system, whether it be injecting them directly or if you could just so happen to eat the wrong steak. I don't know anything about any of that shit. And to be honest, none of that interests me. So, what does interest me is boxing. So, I've kind of taken the stance that when it comes to drugs, if a fight is called off, I'm basically going to give both fighters benefit of the doubt. I can't blame the one fighter for not taking the fight because the other fighter was considered dirty, but I'm not going to just say that the other fighter is a cheat either. Just due to lack of knowledge on the subject. But I think I do know enough where I can speak on the situation of Deontay Wilder. Now, as far as Povetkin is concerned, I'm not going to call him a dirty cheat, but I can't blame Deontay Wilder for not taking that fight because he had a banned substance in his system. Call it what you will, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I can't blame him for not fighting Povetkin. Alright? But his choice of opponents are just piss poor. Povetkin's not the only guy in the heavyweight division that he could fight. All right. But he doesn't also have to fight these guys who are unproven or, you know, at the end of their road or whatever. It doesn't make sense. Let's go ahead and talk about his opponents. So, of course, after he won the WBC title from beating Bermane Stiverne. Sorry, I said that weird. Stiverne. You know, I didn't have a problem with him taking a easy fight. All right, showcasing himself, you know, kind of like a homecoming in Alabama. Good old Alabama. But, you know, I didn't have a problem with that, to be honest. I mean, he fought Eric Molina. You know, I didn't have a problem with that. Now, he didn't look too great against Molina, to be honest. But, I mean, he was able to get him out of there in the 9th round. So, kudos to Deontay Wilder on that. You know, a good showing in front of or not a great showing in front of Alabama. But, I mean, a decent showing. So, that's cool. But I think after he beat Molina, he should have tried to make a statement via a good opponent. So what does he do? He fights Joan Duhaupas, or Duhaupas, or however you say his name. Now, I will say this. I think Deontay Wilder does deserve a little bit more credit than what he gets for fighting Duhaupas. However, he's still not a great opponent. But he did show that, you know, he was rough and tough. And he didn't go down. You know, it was a TKO. But if I remember correctly, he didn't knock down Duhaupas. So, after fighting Duhaupas, I'm thinking, all right, this guy is going to make his statement. Because back in the day, I say back in the day like it was a long time ago, but in the not that far distant past, I was actually up talking Deontay Wilder. I was telling everybody I know, hey, this is going to be the next heavyweight champion of the world. And this was before he fought. Why the fuck am I messing up? That is before he fought Bermane Stiverne. So, he beat Stiverne convincingly. Yay! Deontay Wilder. He did it. He did what I told everybody he would do. Woo! So I'm expecting for him to, like, take over the division now. I'm expecting him to do some shit. And so he beats Duhaupas. And I'm thinking, all right, so two easier fights for him. I think it's time for him to do something. So the next, he fights Artur Szpilka. I'm trying to say the name. I'm trying to pull a precise presenter where I say the names the way they're supposed to be pronounced. Who knows? If I screw up, well then, I apologize, sir or ma'am. But Mr. Artur Szpilka, who really, in my opinion, made Deontay Wilder look bad. I think Deontay Wilder was losing that fight. He pretty much had no choice but to get Szpilka out of there. If he didn't, he would have either lost or won via robbery. From what I saw. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong. But that's what it looked like. So then I'm like, okay, Deontay, I think you've had enough cherries. I think you should have it out of your system by now. Let's make that statement. Let's do something. And then who do we get next? Mr. Chris Arreola, the titties of the heavyweight division. Ho! How the mighty have fallen. This is where I have to draw the line. Because this is actually when he was supposed to fight Povetkin, which, like I said, no qualms in not taking the fight with the given circumstances. Once again, I'm not saying that Povetkin's a low-down dirty cheat, but he did have a banned substance in his system, and I can't expect for Deontay Wilder to put himself at risk. Alright, so all I'm saying is he could have did better. So what does he do? He fights Chris Arreola, he wins, and he hurts his hand, taking him out for the rest of 2016. So now we have this WBC champion who is fighting cherries, hurts his hand, and then he has to sit out the rest of the year. Poor baby. Then he comes back and beats an unproven Gerald Washington. So, a while back, I did make a video titled Deontay Wild Cherry Picker. Something like that. I don't remember the exact title. And saying, not quite yet. Well, I think it's safe to say that, he has definitely earned the heavyweight title of the world titled Wild Cherry Picker. Because this is just ridiculous. So, supposedly, now his number one contender is Bermane Stiverne. Who the fuck wants to see this? Honestly, who wants to see Stiverne get his ass kicked again? I think he lost pretty convincingly the first time. It wasn't close. That shit was funny when Stiverne stumbled and almost fell on Deontay, or he did fall on him actually. If I'm not mistaken, they both kind of hit the canvas. It was funny, but yeah, we'll need to see that again. All I have to say is, if that fight happens again, I want something weird to happen, like back when Holyfield fought Riddick Bowe. I believe it was the second time. Can't remember if it was the first or second time. It was the time, when that dude had a parachute with a fan and he flew his ass right into the ring. I want some weird shit like that to happen if Deontay Wilder fights Stiverne again. I think that'll make it more interesting than what would actually be going on in the ring. That's not a fight that I want to see. So yeah, there's gonna be people who are gonna call me a Deontay Wilder hater, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm a hater, yet back before he became champion, I was actually promoting his ass. But, you gotta call a spade a spade. I can admit that I was wrong. He became a champion and didn't do shit. Now, the other thing that really, really annoys me about Deontay Wilder is that he acts like a diva. And what I mean by that is, let's talk about Anthony Joshua. Alright. Anthony Joshua, 18-0, 100% knockout ratio. I feel at this time, Anthony Joshua is probably about the same status as Deontay Wilder. Not being a cherry picker, but in a sense of their resume. His resume it's not as good as Deontay Wilder's, but given the fact that he only has 18 fights, he's the IBF champ. He beat Eric Molina, the same Eric Molina that Deontay Wilder beat, but he did it much quicker. And now he's about to fight Vladimir Klitschko. And if he beats Klitschko, he will have surpassed Deontay Wilder at 19 fights. That's my opinion. I think he beats it, and I think he is going to beat Klitschko, to be honest. But I think if he does pull that off, he beats Klitschko, he will have surpassed Deontay Wilder. Because, I mean, think about it. Deontay Wilder is what? I think he's 37-0. When he became the WBC champion, he said something along the lines of he's not going to chase Vladimir Klitschko. Klitschko has to chase him because he has the belt that everybody wants. You know, just some retarded bullshit. And I want to say he's 37-0. I don't remember off the top of my head. But Anthony Joshua is 18-0, and he's going to fight Vladimir Klitschko. And he beats Klitschko, he will have surpassed Deontay Wilder. They're going to be fighting for the vacant WBA Super and the IBO bullshit title. So, I mean, I don't care about the IBO, but the, you know, WBA. So he'll be IBF and WBA champion, unified champion. And then all he has to do is go after Parker and Deontay Wilder. And Anthony Joshua only gets better with every fight. Alright. And when he beat Molina, Deontay Wilder just started bitching and moaning about, well, I'm really the best champion. Okay, then why the fuck are you not fighting Anthony Joshua? Why the fuck did you not fight Vladimir Klitschko before he lost to Tyson Fury? You didn't even try to make that fight. You played the diva card and said he had to chase you. So then when Anthony Joshua goes and he disposes of Eric Molina way quicker than you did when you struggled with him, then you want to cry because the attention is now on Anthony Joshua. Deontay Wilder, I really do like you. I just don't like what you've become since you won that title. I'm not, you know, there's a lot of people who feel that, what's his name? The one who ran away from Luis Ortiz for 12 rounds. I can't even remember his name right now. Malik Scott. I'm not one of these people who say that Malik Scott threw the fight. But who knows? Maybe he did. But I have no proof, and I'm not going to. I'm not really big on that whole theory, but I can't blame those who are, because I mean, look at your choice of opponents. You finally fight somebody who is kind of worth mentioning. You win that WBC belt off of him, and then all you've done is gone wild cherry picking. So instead of whining about people taking to Anthony Joshua, saying that he's the best fighter, why don't you just shut them the fuck up and go fight somebody who is at least in the top 10? I want you to do that, because I remember telling my brother about Deontay Wilder, and because my brother is somewhat of a casual, he knows a little bit about boxing, but he's more of a casual fan. And I remember telling him about Deontay Wilder. And you know what? he saw the Spilka fight. And this is what he had to say. He said that was a good knockout, but Spilka was winning that fight. Deontay Wilder, please, don't fight Stavern again. Just don't. Make a case for yourself to not fight him. Try to do unification with Parker. Try to do something aside from fighting Bermane Stavern again. Because, I mean, use the, that he failed that test when he was supposed to fight Povetkin. Use that. Anything. I don't care what it is. There's no point in this fight happening for a second time. But that's pretty much my rant about Deontay Wilder. Like I said, I know some dumbass is going to tell me that I'm hating on him for some retarded reason. More than likely, it will start with an R. And they won't know what the fuck they're talking about when they make that accusation. But, fuck it. This is my channel. This is YouTube. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. You want to praise Deontay Wilder? Upload some videos. Bitch. But anyways, to all my subscribers, anybody watching my videos, or if you just so happen to stumble on this video, you let me know what you think about Deontay Wilder. Even if you disagree. Because I'm not close to the possibility that maybe I'm being too hard on him. I don't think I am. I think I've been more than lenient and just keeping my mouth shut. But you let me know why he's not a cherry picker. Also, big shout out to, I think his name is Love One, Hate One. He's a Deontay Wilder fan. He's a good channel. You should check him out. But I still agree with him on one thing about Deontay Wilder, and that is he's not boring. That I'll give him. He's not a boring fighter. I think his fights are exciting, but it's time to step up. But anyways, y'all have a wonderful and blessed day. Peace.
I am so authentic. I'm so authentic. They try to figure me out, but this is not a gimmick. Hi, hip hop. Don't act like you don't know me. We got the same mama. Don't you try to disown me. I'm just a mixed breed. Call me a day walker. Cause I walk in the sun, but at night I'm a stalker. If you looking for blood, come run in my lane. The vein never runs dry. There's plenty of it, man. I speak an ancient language. They don't understand me. It's called the truth. I break it down. They try to reprimand me. Miss Lauren, she spoke it. They tried to revoke her. They drove her crazy like Morgan Freeman did to Miss Daisy. I am not insane.